So just before they're about to go to commercial, Excalibur points out that, there's a commotion in the back and MJF is asking for a mic. So I thought, okay, well, we're going to get, Max coming out here to do a promo. But then, no, we just went to commercial.
We're into commercial.
It was really weird. I don't know why they didn't just let him come out and do his promo, but I guess they were trying
or at least say we'll be back with him in
when we come back, we'll hear from MJF.
And then you sell it, and then people will want to watch the commercial. Right. Yeah,
but I mean, and it goes back to what you're saying. It's more like the Muppet Show. Where, this isn't like a promo schedule. This is we're running a wrestling show here and there's a commotion in the back and now MJF's going to do a promo.
It's like the show hasn't been written when they get to the arena. I just don't understand this. Yeah. It's like, do both Tony and WWE now just do their homework at the last second? It's like,
and what happens on this show if MJF and later on Stokely Hathaway don't talk for 20 minutes?
Right.
What was on the format?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, we get back and MJF is he comes out to a huge ovation after his heel promo last week. He's trying to heel on the crowd and they're cheering every insult that he has for them. He finally got them to boo him, but I mean, it's hard and it's going to get harder. And this is what Jericho was talking about in the press conference when he said MJF doesn't want to be the biggest babyface in the company, but he's going to be. Because they're not going to be able to stop this for too much longer. But he said he hasn't slept a wink since last week, told the crowd to shut up. He saw the look of no fear in Moxley's face and he's pissed off. He said, I'm not the same guy you were when you last fought. I'm not standing on a podium. So he's making fun of his own angles. But he says, I'm not playing a character. You are. He says, I read your book. He says, you're a joke. You're just like this crowd. and they cheer. He says, I read your book. You were raised the same as this crowd in Albany. He called them uneducated, poor, white trash scumbags from the sticks. They cheered that. It wasn't until he brought up his alcoholism that they finally booed. But he's like, he says, you were bullied as a kid. You put on a front. That's why these morons chant for you. They chanted Moxley at this point. He says, I don't buy it. You're still that scared little boy from the slums of Cincinnati. You drown your sores in alcohol. And then that's where they booed. And he says, but you know what? You beat the habit. I'll give you credit. You've got sober. You got guts and bravery. My brain is more dangerous than your disease. And he says, and I got a message for the other two guys in this tournament, Jericho and Danielson. Bad things happen when people get in my way. So I think he's talking about Punk there. There's a veiled reference to Punk. But he says, Moxley, you know what? When we're done, you can take your vacation. If I were you, I wouldn't want to win this title. It's my title. When you came back from your stint in rehab, you talked about demons. He said, the demon told you everything you earned, you don't deserve. Everything that you have, they take away. Well, you know what? I'm the demon, and I'm a demon you can't slay. I love this promo. And this is the one I was talking about earlier. I thought this was a great promo because he worked hard to get these fans to boo him, and they finally did. And he was building up a match, and he was talking about the title that he wants, and very clear that the match they're building is Moxley and MJF. I don't know if that's the match we're going to get in 2 weeks, but that is the direction, whether it is or not. Maybe we're going to get it at Full Gear. Maybe we're going to get it next year. But we're getting this match at some point.
When you read the text of the promo, it comes off a lot better.
So I'm a better promo than MJF?
I didn't say that. but I think the delivery is more quiet and control. And this is I have a bit of a problem with MJF.
Okay.
I like MJF. I think he's very charismatic. I used to, in the beginning, really look forward to him being on the microphone. But he has an authenticity problem, I think. He comes off more Miz than he does Flair in terms of being a main event type of heel. And I was sitting there trying to diagnose what the issue is. And I think the crowd work has a lot to do with it.
Is he thrown off by the fact that they won't boo him when he's expecting them?
No, it's not that. Okay. I don't think he's thrown off. I think he does that for the cheapness of it. And I think that's part of the problem. Now this is just a working theory, so I'm not sold on this. But all of your main event heels have a certain quiet confidence about them. They'll get angry, but they'll get angry at a person. They won't get angry just to be angry. or whatever. They'll get angry at the powers that be, like Commissioner screwing me by putting me in this cage match. Oh, you want to put me in a cage? Blah, 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 blah. Or, Flair and Dusty, blah, blah, blah. MJF just seems to scream at random times.
So is he doing exactly what he said he's not, and he's accusing Moxley of doing? He's playing a character as opposed to being himself?
I think so.
Okay.
I think in some ways, yes. And that's another issue I want to bring up here, is that I'm tired of this trope in wrestling. And it's become a problem in AEW quite a bit, where the first thing somebody goes is, you're an absolute fraud compared to your character on television. And it's like, stop that. If we went back to any wrestling that we consider quote unquote great, maybe this is nostalgia talking, but I will go Flair. If Ric Flair had said, you know what, Dusty, you're actually rich and you're not really son of a plumber and you have actual money and stuff like that, people would stop watching. If Gary Hart come out, hey, you know what, the Von Erichs are all a bunch of cocaine fueled druggies who are morons or whatever, as opposed to doing the reality of the scene and the character that they're playing. It's a little fourth wall breaking that I don't think works necessarily. I find Miz in this, even like Flair, Tully, Arn, give me some more main event heels in terms of that were champions. Rick Rude, Hennig in some ways. They all had this quiet confidence about them where they might say one quick negative thing to the crowd, but then they were just completely focused on the promo and the camera, as opposed to continually having to go back to the crowd to try and feed the heat. That's stuff for mid-card heels. That's not stuff for main event heels necessarily.
What you're talking about is, I was thinking, you're bringing up all these names from the past, but Roman Reigns does that.
Reigns, yes. No, Reigns has been perfect about it. The crowd,
they cheer him, but he's
also soliciting cheers from them, which is very weird.
But he's still he wants their cheers, but he doesn't respect them at all.
He's in control.
Yes, yeah.
And that and MJF's entire gimmick is that he's smarter than everybody and has this plan.
Yeah.
But it feels like he doesn't have a plan because he's not in control of the plan. And that's the weird disconnect for me. It's like, if you have a plan and you're this smart and you're going to outsmart somebody, you shouldn't be rattled at all.
This is why I think it would be better for him to play into the fact that the crowd is cheering him and run with it, but not change your character.
And not give in to them, not pay them mind. It's like, it's great that they're cheering me, but I don't care about that.
Yeah. And he kind of started off doing that. He said something like, I didn't, you can cheer me if you want, but I came here because I got a message,
I thought your friend Lance Storm's point about this being a lot like the WWE Swerve promo, where you come out earnest and then you do the one. Yeah. I thought that was great because that's what it feels like. It feels like, and we all see the insincerity coming a mile away, or so. But there's no coolness to MJF. He dresses apart and he occasionally, he has some of the mannerisms down, but it never feels like he is calm, cool, collected, and something that the character has done has rattled him. It just seems like he's rattled and he's just going to shout something.
Fair enough. I liked it still.
That's fine.
But I respect, everything you said makes sense. And it'll give me something to think about the next time he talks. But he wasn't quite done.
No.
He said, let's get to business. And he brings up Stokely's crew. He said they're a stable on retainer. Stokely's my best friend. And we heard that a lot tonight. And we heard a lot in AEW, people that are talking about being best friends, which I never knew about. They never spoken about.
No, MJF always does the insincere, he's my best friend type thing. Because he said that about Jericho. He said that about Cody.
But they said, and even Stokely mentioned Ethan Page was his best friend. But yet when he showed up, it was like Ethan Page didn't even know who he was. When they did that promo, whenever it was when he was whining about not being on TV enough. But he, so he brings them out. He says Stokely's got more talent in his little pinky than any of you worthless pieces of shit have in your body. And he introduces Stokely Hathaway and the Firm. And then he vanished into thin air. I don't know where he went. He was there and then he just
left. Yeah.
He just left. He just walked out. But anyways, Stokely gets a mic. He says, it's not Sunday, but you're going to hear some gospel. I left Orlando to meet my best friend in New York City, MJF. I told him, you know what, you can't quit or everyone's going to get what they want. Now it's time for you to get what you want. So we prayed and we prayed and we prayed and we came up with a logical solution. He said, this crew right here they're on retainer. When MJF doesn't need us, we go our separate ways. I'm not a publicist. I'm not a manager. I'm damn sure not an assistant. I'm just a friend. And I'm a friend with connections that can make anything and everything happen. Everything you've seen since I got here has been a lie, a hustle and a con. Well, I'm glad that he cleared that up. Not a single rock I haven't unchurned. You've heard the expression, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I'm not just talking about those fine black women. That was his words, not mine.
Yes.
He's the juicier the gossip, the more power you have. Nothing like blackmail. It turns me on. So then he says, what are these guys here for? This was the best because Stokely, his delivery was incredible. You know, he's a great talker. He introduces his stable, and I figure, you know, this is like the Four Horsemen. This is my world champ. This is my tag team champions of the world. This is my intercontinental champ, whatever. No. Morrissey, what's he here to do? Oh, he's here to do whatever he wants. I appreciate you and I love you. Morrissey, like, he doesn't care. He's just got this stoic look on his face. Stokely looks at him. He's like, I love you, man. Morrissey's just like, yeah, get on with it. Like, I don't know what's going on there. Then he says, Lee Moriarty, all praises to Allah. It's time for you to become a star and bring some honor back to the ROH Pure title, the C brand, the C title on the show that doesn't exist. Then he says, the Guns. And of course, the fans chant Ass Boys. My friend Arya, who I think you met in Dallas, she said that they should team up Cass and the Guns and call them the Cass Boys. I just love that. New trios champs. But they're gonna be the tag team champions of the world. They're not walking in the shadows of their broke ass daddy. You're gonna take them seriously. Then we get to Ethan Page. The crowd pops for him. I don't know why. I guess they're close to Canada.
Yes.
He says, I've known him for 10 years. We've been best friends. We've been bitter enemies. He wants to represent his home country of Canada and win the world title? No. The TNT title? No. The ROH world title? No. The All Atlantic Championship, which anybody from any company anywhere in the world can challenge for at any time. I was underwhelmed by this.
This was a mess.
This was it's a mid-card stable that was given 20 minutes of airtime.
Okay, let's get the good out of the way. I like the thought of we're just a stable on retainer.
I love that.
And when we need it, we go ourselves. This should have been a video promo because it would have been awesome as a video promo with Stokely. Kind of, I was saying, look, comic books are a easily accessible art form to me, and there's a character called the Calculator who they kind of rebranded in DC Comics a number of years ago in a series called Identity Crisis. And he's kind of a power broker for villains. He gets them jobs and things like that. And that's what I'm thinking here. You do a nice video package and each individual member of this stable gets introduced. They look a little harder or whatever. Here's what they're here for. Boom, boom, boom. You're here for and you interplay all of Stokely's bits since he's gotten there when he's talking about his, hey, everything you've seen so far has been a lie, certain promos and stuff like that. You do the W Morrissey thing here. He's here to do whatever he wants. Boom. Okay. Lee Moriarty, he's here to get the ROH Pure title. Boom. You go to the Guns, whatever. You call them the Hired Guns, which would be even cooler because, of course, they're all hired guns now in this stable, which is nice. But yes, and then you introduce this stable as the Firm. You get a nice little graphic of them, and you explain this whole thing as opposed to they're standing out there in the arena, one by one by one, and the jokes are falling flat, and they're getting the ass boy chants.
What is the deal with Morrissey?
And it's just, I think it's just he's supposed to be this quiet killer type of thing. Oh. I think he's actually possibly doing the Nicolas Cage character from Con Air.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the look also, but
he should just do whatever he was doing in Impact. That worked.
Yeah, I mean,
this doesn't.
This didn't work, and I love Stoke, but this promo was terrible.
Stoke could sell me a freaking igloo.
Yes.
I live in Winnipeg, but
yes, but this whole origin. Okay, we're basically his first sentence is this stable doesn't matter because it's not real. And you're just like, okay.
Well, no, and MJF is like, I got to make something real clear here. These guys helped me win this match, but I got nothing to do with them. Like,
and MJF needs a stable. I gotta be honest with you.
Stoke. MJF with Stoke and Morrissey, that would be good.
Like Stoke, Morrissey,
just them. That's it. We don't need any more. Maybe
Spears. You don't need any more.
Maybe Spears. Yeah, Spears is good.
And you know the firm's a badass name, but it's not for this island of misfit toys.
Are the firm more likely to end up, based on first impressions, are they more likely to end up as the Factory or the Pinnacle?
They're gonna end up like the band of the firm and be like a 1 album, 2 album thing, and go their separate ways to something.
Was that your boy Paul Rogers?
Paul Rogers, Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
I believe the bassist.
What was that song they had that was a big hit?
Radioactive.
Yeah, I'm a radioactive.
Yeah, I just like this. And they're not even looking. Yes, don't sing. Because I'm trying to make a point here.
I know.
They didn't even change up any of their looks for this. They just came out as the geeks that they are, and they look like geeks. And you're just like,
it's like the wingmen.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just like, really? We're not going to class them up a bit. We're not going to. Hey, they're now part of this. No, they're just, there's.
If I got the book and then maybe even a rewind machine, I'm putting Stokely with Hobbs. Like, to me, that's a main event act.
Yeah, and I serious up Stoke a little bit.
And I'm not saying that Hobbs isn't a good promo because he's pretty good, like especially considering his experience level. But him with Stoke would be like,
and MJF, because MJF needs a heavy.
Yeah. But then then you're putting Hobbs in that secondary position, which I guess is fine for now.
Too. Well, I mean, there are ways. See, you are, but you aren't if you're careful about it. I mean, you can always. I mean, and that's the problem.
Hobbs, Lee, and Strickland.
That's fine too, but I'm just saying you don't need to make stables one guy's taking the fall for the other guys. You can make them even type of things if you do it correctly, and we haven't done it correctly in 25 years, and it's driving me nuts.
And I guess him saying everything's been a lie, a hustle, and a con is their explanation for why he's not with the baddies anymore?
Yes.
Yeah. So where are they?
They're on Rampage doing promos and not having continuity because
Jade hates Layla Gray, but somehow
Layla Gray is still there every damn week, and she's missing her lines occasionally.
Yeah. And I think maybe they have a match this week. I don't even remember. We'll get.
No, they had a promo on Rampage, and she missed. She missed her cue for the thing that Kira Hogan was doing.
Oh my god!
I was watching, going, oh man,
it wasn't all good.
No,